Good afternoon. We have a nice day outside right now, the rec, right? And we do have some multiple incidents around the Copenhagen region. We have a help vehicle right now on 291 westbound, just out of Copenhagen at exit 17. There's a two-car vehicle. We also have a massive traffic event right now, just outside downtown Copenhagen, going on to 93 northbound at exit 90. One right now. There is a multi-agency situation. It's likely to be a head-on collision. We're still working to get information. I cannot see that on my Panasonic Jam Cam at this moment. We have no other problems to report. Moderate traffic at the Mini-Brick State Thruway. Our next traffic update in less than 15 minutes. At about our next traffic update at 2:17 on News Radio 990 BCOP. Today's forecast from the BCOP Weather Center is going to be hot again, similar to today. 90 degrees in downtown with a heat index of 100 degrees with a humidity of 80%, kids. That's really hot today. Tonight, there'll be a chance of thunderstorms. Temperatures will tumble into the upper 60s in downtown, a little bit warmer elsewhere. Tomorrow will be a little bit much cooler, highs in the mid-80s. Repeating current temperature is 87, going up to 90 degrees with a heat index of 100 in downtown Copenhagen. Our next news update at the bottom hour in breaking news when it happens. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. With my mother having it her way, she told me back 5 decades. Now. And now, it's a Saturday afternoon news program from BCOP 9. The following program on BCOP 990 is not representative of the management or employees of this station. Any device given on BCOP 990's airwaves should be consulted with a technical professional. BCOP radio cannot be held liable for any mistakes or errors caused by the talent or the caller in question. Thank you. And now, it's a Saturday afternoon news program from BCOP 990. This is TechBeat with your host, Stephen Clickford, President of Clickford Media Services. Any questions regarding technology for your home or business? All right, welcome to the show, and we're just going to start off with a 60-second intro, which will be the start of today's conversational point.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives we have created for the first time each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
You know, it just goes back to the days before I wasn't born that year. My one significant other was born that year, but um, it's interesting back in the 80s with those kind of film commercials, and the late Robertson did that voiceover for Apple, and that was in 1984. 37 years later, Apple has iOS 15, and you kind of wonder if Apple or somebody in the company really believes in 1984. I personally, in my own objective view on this, as I'm putting my editorial views here, that Apple is just there's sick people. The sick people, they really want an Orwellian like world. They really want it so badly that they would actually go so far to just make it happen. It's really sick, to be honest with you. We're on here on Radio 990 FM 10. I forget our FM signal offhand, but we're online at BCOP TV on our YouTube account. We really hoping that you're enjoying this. This is week 2 of TechBeat. I'm Stephen Clickford. I am your humble technology correspondent here for BCOP News Radio. My job here is to kind of help you make sense of technology. Here on BCOP 990. Some interesting developments over the last week, or the last week, with the way this whole infamous iOS 15 is supposed to come out. Apple's now giving you the option to not upgrade to the very latest and greatest. There was an article earlier this week where it's almost kind of like where you can install patches or install major releases. That is a bigger change. It's the biggest change in the history of iOS. You can actually don't have to go on the latest and greatest track. I'm not saying that you should not be on iOS 7 in 2021, for example, but you guys know where I'm coming from with this. Just a little bit of a personal antidote. I did use I Am Amazing. I lowercase I Amazing. I did not have Pegasus on this app, but at some point I want to show you, probably on next week's show, how to check for your phone for or your devices for that. Unfortunately, I did not. I just spent the last few hours producing today's show. It takes a lot of work, actually. People just think that I can drop everything and do everything, and that's not true at all. BCOP, the time on BCOP 212. Other tech stuff in the news. Again, there's still more backlash to Apple's new tool to try to fight kiddie pornography, allegedly. There's still more pushback, whether Apple was in the toilet with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Other news this week that we're trying to find here. There's what else is going on this week the in the news. Um, right. Let's go to our first caller while we get some news. We got some breaking news hitting the wires on an earthquake in Haiti, a 7.2 magnitude quake. All right, that's an interesting story. We'll try to get that in a few moments right now. Let's go to Joey uh, Joey on you're on the TechBeat. Joey, hello there. How are you, Joey?
Did you get the Pegasus attack?
I did not.
Oh, damn. He deserved it.
What do you mean, Joey?
You know, I'm glad I'm not using a iOS because, you know, I don't do stuff like that. And people like you're into all that little creepy stuff. So, you know, you should go to iOS 13. I hope to see you get locked up behind bars, dude. Because you're nothing but...
Oh my goodness, Joey, you're really trying to burn me, aren't you? And that really stinks for you, Joey. He's from North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Let's focus on some other news in the week. There was a lot of things that happened, as I mentioned. Um, uh, there's a lot of different stories here to pick out from. A lot of streaming conversations today. Um, Bitcoin. There's a lot of stories on Bitcoin. I'm gonna probably chime in on that at some point here. Crypto, it's corrupto. That's what I call it. Um, there was a story from CNBC on Monday saying that Apple says it will reject government demand for a child abuse image detection system for surveillance. Okay, that's kind of an interesting thing. All right, let's take a quick break for the news right now. BCOP, the time on BCOP 990 it is 2:16. And let's go live to Natalie Logano at the BCOP traffic desk for the latest. Hello, Natalie. Natalie, you're on the air. Good afternoon. We do have that problem on 291 just outside the city. There is a helper vehicle. That vehicle should be cleared in a moment right now, working clockwise around the region. We do have a severe head-on collision. We had that confirmed by the Minneberg State Police. That area, pardon anything with that, is closed for traffic right now. So just avoid the area. Use the downtown. Take you to downtown Centennial Drive as your alternative. Our next traffic update is at the bottom of the hour on News Radio 990 BCOP. Live to the Weather Center with John Cucino. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. Today's temperature will be a hot one. Scorcher today, 90 degrees. That will feel like 100 with an 80% humidity. Tonight temperatures will get cooler. Tomorrow will be a little bit less hotter and humid than today. Repeating current temperature 87 going up to 90 degrees in downtown Copenhagen. TechBeat continues next here on BCOP 990.
The following is a public service announcement reminding you that mitigation steps for COVID 19 or the coronavirus. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people that are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. If you're sick, stay home. Cover yourself when you cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects on a routine basis. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message has been brought to you by the Mini Brick State Association of Broadcasters and this station adapted from the advice from the National Association of Broadcasters.
If BCOP 990 was a music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious news and beautiful, high-level information to our listeners. Our listeners are one of the most brightest and smart consumers in any northern Brick England market. Tap into the highest net worth of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231-272-9949. 231-272-9949. This is John Cricino on the BCOP newsroom. We have some breaking news to report to you. There's been a major earthquake in Haiti this morning. This is not a reprint from 2010. This is another earthquake, the first in 11 years. A 7.2 magnitude quake, which was followed by a series of aftershocks, struck 5 miles from the town of Petit Proutou in about 150 kilometers west of the capital, Port-au-Prince. This is the same area that made the quake potentially bigger and shallower than the magnitude 7 quake that struck Haiti 11 years ago. We have Reuters reporting a major earthquake has been reduced to rubble and caused at least several fatalities in southwestern Haiti on Saturday, sending shockwaves across the Caribbean where people fled their homes in the fear it might collapse. I present my sympathies to the parents of the victims lost in the violent earthquake that caused several lives and material damage in various provinces. Prime Minister Ariel Henry said on Twitter in the first confirmation of fatalities. The United States Geological Survey says high casualties are probable and this disaster is likely widespread. This earthquake comes as Haiti is already mirrored in political and humanitarian security crises. So we'll report more of this information as soon as it warrants here. But again, there is a major earthquake that occurred in Haiti, a 7.2 earthquake. We're still looking for a time of when this occurred. It occurred at 8:30 local time this morning, so it was just relatively this morning. More news tomorrow here on BCOP 990. All right, thank you, John Cricino in the BCOP newsroom to report that heartbreaking news again. Two big quakes in 11 years. Ugh. Only was like yesterday, wasn't it? BCOP. Today we are doing TechBeat. I'm your tech guru, Stephen Clickford, here from Clickford Media Services. This program, again, I just want to play the legal tag just for those who didn't hear it play out. Just we wanted just to protect our own interests. The following program on BCOP 990 is not representative of the management. Okay. It's gonna be one of those days, huh? All right, let's go to Dawn right now on BCOP's tech line. Dawn, good afternoon.
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call. I have a question regarding internet plans and what plans should I look at in terms of should I cut the cord or should I use some other services?
What internet services plans do you have in your...
Sprint or whatever it's called now. There's Xfinity.
Okay,
I
so
actually surf on the internet.
what are you using for the internet?
Yeah.
What are
Okay.
you using it to?
Okay.
Okay, all right,
Yep,
there's some technical problems. He's not hearing me clearly. All right, let's go live to uh, let's go live to Christy. Christy, you're on the TechBeat on BCOP 990. Good afternoon, Christy.
Hi. I have some questions regarding streaming. So I'm not sure if I need to, how should I just stream from my phone to start?
Are you
I'll
talking
take your
about
question off the air.
are you talking about like okay, that I can't help you if you're gonna hang up on me. Sorry about that, Christy. Let's go to I would go to Jack on the air. Jack, you're on the Tech Beat. What's your question?
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you, Jack?
So my company has these voice over IP phones that connect to the internet. They're telling me the thing's outdated and I need to do an upgrade because it's old. Why would they be telling me that my phones are old?
Because they like to have groupthink and they want to tell you what they think it should be the latest. They may want to, I mean, phones. It's kind of hard to say what the real w- in terms of they are often trying to sell you something really cheap. That's the easiest answer on that part. What's your next question?
They're Cisco?
Okay, so they're Cisco. Are they what model specifically?
They are or 500 model systems. They're like 525.
Okay. So those are the Spa series.
No.
Those are 78. I'm getting lost here, sir.
I believe they're connected directly to the internet.
So they're connected directly to the internet. Well, that's not good. I would really are you sure it's are they does it have its own router? Does it have its own internet connection?
No.
No. Okay. I would really ask questions in that regard.
They're connected
They're connected directly
directly to the internet.
to the internet. Okay. All right. Well, my advice is to just to see how you can try to do it without replacing phones, because you really don't need to be replacing phones. All right, let's go to. We got another caller coming up on BCOP. Let's go live to Ricky. Ricky, you're on the Tech Beat. How are you?
Hi, this is Ricky from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. I just have a question regarding I'm a freelance video editor, and we really need to be looking at solutions for us editors, and we're freelancers, so we need to know, like, how do we store all our stuff, and how do we keep edits, because we can't keep it in our computers anymore.
All right. What are you using to edit video?
Adobe Premiere.
Adobe Premiere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are you using to store your stuff?
I don't know how much. Maybe I'd say 20 gigabytes a day.
Okay, so you're putting in about 20 gigs a day. Okay, that's not abnormal. So that's a lot of media. How much is in your computer?
Yeah, we make proxies.
So you make proxies, obviously, but how much are you storing on masters?
What's that?
Your master files, which is the raw and native uncompressed video.
Yeah, we're just only like four of us.
So there's four people in your edit bay. Okay. And you use Adobe Premiere. I have some solutions. Can
It's
you
probably
can we hold on? Cause we're getting up against a hard break. Can you just stay on with us?
okay.
Okay, good. All right. We'll get Ricky back on in a moment. There is some breaking news to report. Been a 7.2 earthquake that has hit Haiti this morning at 8:30 local time, around 8:30. This was not where it hit back in 2010, but it's still significant. There is reports of casualties. Also in the news, we are getting reports that there's several reports right now regarding Houston's independent school district that they are going against the Governor Abbott's anti-mask mandate, which you can argue is constitutionality, and so more stories on that. That'll come up at the 4 o'clock wheel on BCOP 990. It is currently 87 going up to 90 degrees in downtown. Your news update is coming up next. Is the bomb the emergencies, the top three series news. No, this is Dr. Chino in the BCOP 990 newsroom. The concerns of the rise of the coronavirus in many brick states as infection rates are up 13% from last week. Governor John Butterbrick says he will not be issuing any states emergencies and is only monitoring the situation. As school reopens in Paddington's Purchase next Monday, the debate whether or not to mask children or not will be a hotly contested debate next week at area school districts next week. We'll cover that here on BCOP 990. Meanwhile, the Mini Brick State General Court has passed a sales tax holiday for next weekend. Governor Butterbrick says it will go in effect on Independence Day, and Butterbrick says that it will be a great way to celebrate his so-called policy of making Mini Brick State great again. In sports preseason football, the Miniland Bear Wreckers will be playing Monday night. We'll be covering that on BCOP beginning at 7:30 in the evening. Green Suns are off today. They will be playing tomorrow at 105 in Brick York. It's time for traffic and weather together every 15 minutes here in the quarter hours. Here's Natalie Logano at the BCOP Traffic Center. And this latest from the BCOP 990 Weather Center. Today will be hot, near 90 degrees in downtown with a heat index near 100. Upper 80s elsewhere tonight. Temperatures will tumble in the upper 60s in downtown. with the chance of thunderstorms in the area could be severe in some locales. The peak air temperature 87 going up to 90 degrees in downtown Copenhagen. This is the latest from the BCOP newsroom. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. John Bricciano is our producer, and Jen Persocchio, our service aide. TechBeat continues in a moment. Welcome back to BCOP News, BCOP 990. This is the Tech Beat tech show here where we talk about technology, take your callers, answer to your concerns of technology, and try to inform you because it's important to be informed in this crazy world. Let's go back to Ricky because he had a couple questions regarding to his edit systems. Let's go open up here. Ricky, you're on the air. You're back on. Thank you for holding.
Well, it's probably going to have speed, but
so let's go back. We talked about that you have a NAS, or right now you don't have a NAS, but I recommend a NAS that you're using your computer to store your stuff. You're using Adobe Premiere. You do stuff for hire, so you don't have to retain a lot of stuff. So let's go back to recapping what the best options are. One of the things you could do is get external storage.
There's only like 4 of us.
There's 4 of you, correct? So your solution, there's multiple options out there. I would recommend that you get in a search solution.
It's probably going to have speed, but
you prefer USB.
Why would I want to do that approach?
So right, so you were saying that you wanted to prefer going to USB. I prefer network storage because you have a more clustered. It's if I edit on my ThinkPad or stream from my ThinkPad and I want to send it to edit on my Mac, I put it on the server rather than just sharing stuff on each computer. I mean, you could keep some of your offline stuff on the computer. I mean, they're really, particularly a single user environment or single multiple users. But
Yeah, so we have four editors editing video using Adobe Premiere. We got like 1080p video we like to produce on. And our computers are only 2 terabytes, and we're right at the limit, and we need to look at a better solution. So you're telling me, you know, what?
My suggestion to you is to basically look at look at network attached storages or NAS. So what it is basically, it's basically what it does is a hard drive with a miniature server without really all the doodads to do file servers. Its only purpose is to do file storage. There's different types of hard drives.
Okay, and
NAS, that's correct. So there's another option which would be more expensive to the software attached. Right. So that is more of the storage area network. So what you're looking more for is a NAS, but with a NAS you can use SAS or serial attached SCSI, but SCSIs are slower. And what's more important, speed or reliability of the data, i.e. your video?
Okay. And SATA.
SATA, right. So SATA is more speedier.
We don't keep a lot of this stuff for long because for hire.
Right, exactly. You said that earlier. So I would recommend that you look for a NAS with a SATA.
What vendors or brands would you recommend?
There is Synology, there is there's QNAP, and then there's Netgear's FreddieNAS, which is pretty good. It depends on your cost. They can get really expensive, but I would certainly not recommend FreeNAS by any means.
Sure, I'll hold.
Okay, thank you.
All
right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've had issues with FreeNAS, and I think its evolution is now TrueNAS, but it's really a fake NAS. I would recommend you buy some commercial stuff. And you say, well, Steve, the commercial stuff is it's kind of like a, let me pull it up here. It's very Big Brother like. Really, I would challenge that because right now, open source stuff is very third world technology. It's not reliable. It's not. It doesn't. It doesn't give you the tools that you really need to do it. And it could be part of it is because developers don't know how to make good stuff, and coders really do suck in terms of making good stuff here. So yeah, that's my whole thought of the whole thing here. And not to show any implicit bias, but I have this SCSI shaped necklace that came from my loved one, who is no longer with me here. Let's go to time right now and do a time check. It is 2:41, 87 degrees in downtown Copenhagen, going up to 90 degrees in downtown Copenhagen today. So enjoy the weather while it lasts here. Coming up at the 3 o'clock hour, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to do a better job at streaming. If you're being, I know we had an earlier caller, and that's so we'll get to that in a bit here. Alrighty, let's just finish up our callers at this hour and go to. I just lost my browser. All right, let's go to Rex. Rex, you're on TechBeat. What's your question today? You're on the air.
Hi. I'm just wondering, in terms of our business, we're looking at, we keep getting told to look at the cloud. Um, does that mean we have to upgrade all our stuff in our building for like the internet?
Yeah, if you're doing more stuff online, and depending on what kind of stuff you're
Okay.
doing, I would just check your network. The LAN is really where your big bottleneck could be.
Okay.
So I would check into that. Other than that,
Well, I'm not certain. We're talking like Google Docs and stuff like that.
Google Docs, that's not a good thing here. But yeah, I would
Yeah.
check with your network.
All right.
Get a
I'll let them
network
know. Thank you.
integrator. All right, thank you for the call. So let me just kind of reset there. Basically, what I would recommend people, if you're not if you are looking at different clouds, make sure that your network can handle it. Just because you're moving your servers doesn't mean that you are going to get the you can still have issues, and you really need to get your networking people. And if you're a single person shop, you need to kind of look at getting a contractor on that regard. Um, talk about that. Actually, we'll take it to the sketchbook next. Right now, what is my time here so I can send off traffic and whether properly here if I can. We'll try to fix the problem this time. All right, just 10 more seconds. We're brought to you by from TechieCrafts. Visit techicrafts.clickfor.net and use the promo code BCOP990 at the Etsy checkout to get your discount there. So techicrafts.clickford.net and use the promo code BCOP990 at the checkout as your promo code on Etsy for the latest. Let's go live to the traffic update here. And BCOP news time is 2:45. Let's go live to Natalie LaGuardia at the BCOP Traffic Center. Natalie? And good afternoon. We got a problem right now in 291. That another accident near exit 7, just past Sterles Road. Right now, your best bet is to just get through that. The traffic's only going to cost you about 15 minutes. If you want to use alternate routes, you can. We still have investigations going on here at the just past by the State House exit on anything northbound. There is a investigation likely to be a head-on collision. No problems report right now. We just got heavy traffic around the area. Your next traffic update in less than 10 minutes on BCOP 9, in about 15 minutes on BCOP 990. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. It will be a hot one today. 90 degrees will be the high right now. 87 going up to 90. Heat index will feel much warmer than that, probably near 100. Excessive heat warning is not in effect though, but it could at any point. We'll break that into you when we do. Tomorrow will be much cooler. There'll be a seesaw effect for the rest of the week. Temperatures in the range of mid 80s, low 80s to upper 80s with some humidity factors from now into Friday. Right now, the repeating current temperature 87 going up to 90 degrees with a heat index of 100 in downtown Copenhagen. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. We have a breaking news to report. There's been an earthquake in Haiti, a 7.2 aftershock. We're working to get more information on whether there is apparent death in the country. And, we're working to get additional information. This is not in the same location where the 2010 or 2009 2010 case occurred, but we will be working to get additional information next year. BCOP News Time 2:48. More TechBeat after this break. If BCOP 990 was a music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious news and beautiful, high-level information to our listeners. Our listeners are one of the most brightest and smart consumers in any northern Brick England market. Tap into the highest net worth of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231-272-9949. 231-272-9949. Minute break at the top, and I'm probably going to do a I'll just move the camera a little bit. Oh, that's a good shot. Alright, we'll get to that in a moment. I'll have to play at the top. We'll do that. I gotta give you some advice coming up. I got an itch to a scratch here. Alright, welcome back to TechBeat. This show here on BCOP News Radio 990, or BCOP 99, I'm supposed to say. We are going to we're going to take some of your calls momentarily. We're going to just take a one right. I apologize. This is week two. It's I mean, at least it could be worse. There's one streamer I was watching. I was cringing throughout the night. So it was a Thursday night. She was doing this like 8 o'clock stream. It was just really awkward, to say the least. So, anyways, here's my advice. I'm gonna give you advice on technology. Obviously, it's part of the stream. The theme here. Like say that 5 times fast. Um, and one of the advices that I would give you is uh, that to make sure that you have um, that make sure you have dedicated workspaces right now, and you have to set boundaries. And if you're not setting yourself boundaries here,
The first woman to
um,
file a criminal.
um, the okay, I apologies about that. There's someone's trying to play my audio here. I think it's somebody in the other studio there. I think. Yeah. Anyways. Um. Uh. Where am I? Where am I on here? All right, I'll take that again here. So my advice for people who are streaming or recording from home, it's unfortunately I wouldn't recommend this, depending on your environment, the people that you live with. You might live in an apartment where it may not be possible. You may also be working in an environment that might not allow you to do that. So, noise environments, because a lot of people, will not tolerate a lot of noise in the background. Air conditioning, that might be too, there are certain standards of, be snunny, I mean, this room is scrappy as hell, but the people I live with are scrappy too. I'm not gonna lie, and you need to enforce boundaries when you're doing a show. Like for instance, if you're, I'm not behind the mic at 2 and leave at 4. I'm here, doing the production at noon with a go live. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't seem to understand nor they care, but they should. If you're living with somebody, if you're living with a girlfriend that is constantly going to use you for something, because she's a narcissistic person. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong show. I don't talk about relationships on this show, but part of it is that you kind of need to have boundaries. If people are not respecting your boundaries, you're doomed to you're doomed for issues down the road. So you really need to enforce very strict guidelines of this is the stuff I'm going to be doing. This is the stuff that you know. And if people aren't respecting your boundaries, then you really need to either start working for study. I hope COVID does go away at some point. I'm getting really sick and tired of people being around unproductive people myself. And I don't like working at home. I really wish I could co-locate with a trusted person in my life, if that is, or people understand that when I'm on the air, don't get yourself attention. Give yourself attention in all ways, but don't trivialize your business, especially where I take what I do very seriously. I don't take myself seriously. There's a difference. Just go talk Cox. See that 5 times. Sorry. Look at the people that work for Cox Media Group. Need I say more? Uh, I have a few more minutes left, and then I go and take a minute. So is it 2:50 times? Was it 2:56 this afternoon? And yeah, we're about a minute and a half left of programming here. So I wanted to, if you're watching the live stream with me, I'm gonna actually sketch out here. I'm gonna basically try to work in this really tight space here too, and making your own workspace at home has been a challenge with COVID-19. But I wanted to tell people how to properly. This is not the right marker. Oh, goody two shoes! I don't have my marker, my proper dry erase marker for that. So I'll get one upstairs while I go to the break here. And in fact, you might see a quick set change because I'm going to actually change my workspace so you can see me a little bit better. So time 2:57. We are brought to you by from TechieCraft, TechieCraft.clickfor.net. Use the promo code BCOP990 at checkout to save that you wouldn't save elsewhere. So use that when you can here. And we are approaching the top of the hour. BCOP time right now is approaching it's at 2:58. We'll be back in a moment. Just glitch. If BCOP 990 was a music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious news and beautiful, high level information to our listeners. Our listeners are one of the most brightest and smart consumers in any northern Brick England market. Tap into the highest net worth of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231 272 9949. 231 272 9949. Do you know a techie in your life that likes to have technical themed stuff in your office or workspace? Do you have a favorite catchphrase that your techie person may like? Visit techiecrafts.clickford.net. This website has more than 20 items available at your convenience. Shipping can be done within 3 business days. Use promo code 990BCOP at checkout to save 20% off for any orders over $25. Visit techiecrafts.clickford.net. If BCOP 990 was a music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious news and beautiful, high level information to our listeners. Our listeners are one of the most brightest and smart consumers in any northern Brick England market. Tap into the highest net worth of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231 272 9949. 231 272 9949. In the spirit of Copenhagen, news, traffic, and weather. This is BCOP, BCORFM, and BCOE AM 821 Copenhagen. Good afternoon, this is John Crescito in the BCOP 990 newsroom. Top of the hour, the top 3 stories you need to know at this hour. Concerns of the rise of coronaviruses in many Brick State are attracting attention of state leaders as the infection rates are up 13% from last week. Governor John Barnabrook says he will not issue any states of emergency and is only monitoring the situation at this time. Whether or not to mask children or not will be a hotly contested debate in area school districts next week. Many Brick State General Court has passed a sales tax holiday for next. MNN covers the news a minute after the hour. And the sports page this preseason football, the Maryland Bearwreckers will be playing Monday night. We will be covering it on BCOP 990 beginning at 7:30. Green Studs are off today. They will play tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. in Brick York. And now traffic and weather together every 15 minutes here at the quarter hours. Here's Natalie Legato at the BCOP Traffic Center. Good afternoon. We have a nice day outside right now, the wreck right now. We do have some multiple incidents around the Copenhagen region. We have a help vehicle right now on 291 westbound just out of Copenhagen at exit 17. There's a two-car vehicle. We also have a massive traffic event right now, just outside downtown Copenhagen, going on to 93 northbound at exit 90. One right now. There is a multi-agency situation. It's likely to be a head-on collision. We're still working to get information. I cannot see that on my Panasonic Jam Cam at this moment. We have no other problems to report. Moderate traffic at the Mini-Brick State Thruway. Our next traffic update in less than 15 minutes at about our next traffic update at 2:17 on News Radio 990 BCOP. Today's forecast from the BCOP Weather Center is going to be hot again, similar to today. 90 degrees in downtown with a heat index of 100 degrees with a humidity of 80%, kids. That's really hot today. Tonight, there'll be a chance of thunderstorms. Temperatures will tumble into the upper 60s in downtown, a little bit warmer elsewhere. Tomorrow will be a little bit much cooler, highs in the mid 80s. Repeating current temperature is 87, going up to 90 degrees with a heat index of 100 in downtown Copenhagen. Our next news update at the bottom hour and breaking news when it happens. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. The following program on BCOP 990 is not representative of the management or employees of this station. Any device given on BCOP 990's airwaves should be consulted with a technical professional. BCOP radio cannot be held liable for any mistakes or errors caused by the talent or the caller in question. Thank you. And now, it's a Saturday afternoon news program from BCOP 990. This is TechBeat with your host, Stephen Clickford, President at Clickford Media Services. Any questions regarding technology for your home or business? Call us now. And now, here's your host, Stephen Clickford. My mic here. All right, welcome back to the show. Yeah, it's interesting. You've got to learn to be very agile, not in the technological sense. I don't agree with that. I'm, again, still trying to figure out how to produce this show here because, I live in a very overprotective lifestyle of a mom that can't turn off moms and just have to you know, life gets in the way. Well, you know what? Life doesn't get in the way when you start putting tough boundaries. I'm not a big believer of family. It holds you backwards. If you wanna be a hot shot, you gotta give the finger to your family. To put it mildly, on BCOP radio here. We're gonna continue to take some of your calls here. Today, I'm gonna also talk about how you should approach how to do editing in your video. You might see this on the live stream if you can. Let's go to Jack on the line. Did we go through Jack already, or we've gone through all the callers at this hour? I think we went through all the callers. At this point, we're gonna have to replenish the call here. Um, Other things, and so typically on hour two, we do the news. We do the news. The idea is to get the news, and then the second hour we talk about other issues, particularly how things have changed over the last uh, 3 years with streaming and IP-based technology. Hey, did you guys watch the credits to the NBC Olympic coverage? Oh, that was really interesting to see. They ran about 12 and a half pages of credits. 12 and a half minutes of credits with credits advancing every 3.5 seconds roughly. So if you do the math, it's about 200 pages of people. And unfortunately, I think that the whether you like it or not, I shouldn't put too much conjecture, but I think that the challenge is there's a lot of move to IT, and I don't know if that will make you have better content quality in the future there. But that's just me. Let's um, talk about some questions with regarding. All right, I'm sorry here. My rundown is a little bit screwed up right now. Let's take a quick second here to read off my sponsor. Right now it's TechieCrafts. TechieCrafts.clickfor.net. Use the weekly, use BCOP 990 at checkout here. Let me go to a caller right now. Let me just get there here. Let's go. Just give us a second here. Oh, we had an open mic on the phone. Okay, hold on. All right, let's go live to John. Is your Nope, John's already taken. We got Patrick on the line. Patrick, thank you for calling the show. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you? Am I on the air? I don't think he's on.
Alright, let's go on here. Pat, you're on the air. Hi, thank you for taking my call. I have a question with regards to collecting computers and what should I do to um, where should I start picking computers? With computers.
Okay, so if you just turn down your volume, that would help because I can't hear everything that you're saying. Or just can you just kind of speak for a minute? Yeah, thank you. So my question is, what kind of computers? Is it emotional? I mean, is it an investment? What is it specifically?
I just want to own them for an investment.
Well, I'm not sure about owning computers for an investment, but if you're using it for educational or entertainment purposes, I would recommend that. But I would certainly, I've never heard about somebody owning. Um, I have certainly not heard anybody use it for uh, um, yeah, you've got me there. Um, we got some breaking news to report to you. If you have not, if you've been um, not listening to us this morning, there has been an earthquake of a 7.2 earthquake. The death toll is rising, and the pictures coming from um, Haiti is almost reminiscent from the 2009 or early 2010. I forget when that quake occurred specifically. Stay with BCOP News Radio for continuing coverage as we get you more information. BCOP, the time on BCOP is 3:14. Coming up next after the break, I'm going to just do a sketch out on particularly what you should do in the world of clouds. There's a lot, but we've gotten two calls this week on that in a moment here. I got another caller, but they'll wait till after the break. Let's go live to the traffic and weather together every 15 minutes, around the quarter hours for the latest. Let's go live to uh, let's go live to Natalie Logano at the BCOP traffic desk for the latest. Natalie, what's the latest? And good afternoon. We got a problem right now in 291. That another accident near exit 7, just past Sterles Road. Right now, your best bet is to just get through that. The traffic's only going to cost you about 15 minutes. If you want to use alternate routes, you can. We still have investigations going on here at the just past by the State House exit on anything northbound. There is a investigation likely to be a head-on collision. No problems report right now. We just got heavy traffic around the area. Your next traffic update in less than 10 minutes on BCOP 9, in about 15 minutes on BCOP 990. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. It will be a hot one today. 90 degrees will be the high right now. 87 going up to 90. Heat index will feel much warmer than that, probably near 100. Excessive heat warning is not in effect though, but it could at any point we'll break that into you and we do. Tomorrow will be much cooler. There'll be a seesaw effect for the rest of the week. Temperatures in the range of mid 80s, low 80s to upper 80s with some humidity factors from now into Friday. Right now, the repeating current temperature 87 going up to 90 degrees with a heat index of 100 in downtown Copenhagen.
The following is a public service announcement reminding you that mitigation steps for COVID 19 or the coronavirus. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people that are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. If you're sick, stay home. Cover yourself when you cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects on a routine basis. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message has been brought to you by the Mini-Brick State Association of Broadcasters and this station adapted from the advice from the National Association of Broadcasters.
I don't know how much time I have on the show here, but I think it's roughly 90 minutes of program. If BCOP 990 was a music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious news and beautiful, high-level information to our listeners. Our listeners are one of the most brightest and smart consumers in any northern Brick England market. Tap into the highest net worth of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231-272-9949, 231-272-9949. The following program on BCOP 990 is not representative of the management or employees of this station. Any device given on BCOP 990's airwaves should be consulted with a technical professional. BCOP radio cannot be held liable for any mistakes or errors caused by the talent or the caller in question. Thank you. Excuse me, it's been a long day to do a show here. I'm getting all tired here, but one of the things I wanted to do here is, since if you're watching me on the stream here, I'm going to try to get my microphone over here so you can hear me clearly as I take off my headphones so you don't hear the clanging on here. Just basically how things work for most computer networks, because you're getting a bunch of calls here with regarding to internet flags and stuff like that. So basically, what a lot of people do not talk about is local networks here. So that's where a lot of your traffic is going to be for the most part. You want to make sure like your IoT devices, like that's a common thing here right now these days. And then you have apps like Google, and you got that cloud, and then you got things like your web, and then it just kind of goes to your router, which I'm going to use the icon that is well known in the industry with a cutout of arrows, cutout circle of arrows. I'm kind of screwing this up in the sketch. And then it goes to your internet, whether it's cellular, whether it's cable, or DSL, right? So your router, you want to make sure that your router is very, it has a lot of throughput, alright? And one of the things that I recommend is do not use your ISP router, and that's the little circle here. Don't do that. Just absolutely don't do that. Routers is basically just, despite what a lot of people talk about, routers are not the your standard um, your standard just moving traffic from one and the other. It really is like taking. It's not just a device that connects to the internet. It doesn't have to connect to the overall internet. It's routing from one traffic to the other. Typically, your internal and your external. What it really is doing is acting as a firewall. So, but I don't want to get too in the weeds here. Routers do not store information. If you're using like a Cisco or even a DDWRT, if you're on the consumer world, it's really not. Storing your data. It's storing the log of when you got onto Facebook or when you got onto Google and stuff like that. One thing that I really recommend all users, whether you are a home user or you're a corporate user, to make sure that you have your Wi-Fi, your DHCP, that the thing that gives you IP addresses on the local level, not because a lot of people say IP address and they're assuming their internet address, but you have an IP address for local stuff. Your DHCP, your DNS, which is really goes with routing, but basically have 3 different devices. And the reason that being is you can get a higher throughput. If you're throwing everything on your so-called internet gateway, you're gonna just stall the traffic, and what you pay for your internet plan may not be because as advertised because you're doing everything on one device. I recommend you have one of each. It gives a better diversity of your traffic, and it's not particularly limited to what it is. So again, I hope that makes sense. I'll do it after the break and get you a better view on that moment in a moment here. Let's go back to the phones right now. Let's go to John and Center Ridge. Don't know where you are, but you're on the TechBeat. Do you have any questions to ask for me for today as I get my headphones back on so I can hear you and so there's no feedback here? Hello? Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I have a question with regards to all this internet stuff. I just heard this in the car, so I want you to explain to me how do I get the fastest internet? You're telling me use separate stuff. I'll take that question off the air. Okay, so what I was talking about was that those internet routers that your ISP gives to you basically is for all intents and purposes it's they put everything in one device, but the CPU and the memory and the RAM, because really it's a computer without a mouse and keyboard, a headless device. The problem is they run all this stuff in these little things, and the problem is it doesn't give you the full throughput. If you want a full routing throughput, you need to have different devices to do different things. This happens even on the enterprise world. You can run too much stuff on your Cisco IOS routers, and then you'll wonder why your fan goes off and on in terms of a pattern. It's because you're running too many things at once, and you really want to split things up. So I guess he's not on the air anymore, but my suggestion would be for you to go buy a wireless, exclusively a wireless access point, a router, and then have another router that just does DHCP. I mean, that might be going too much, but I'd rather have separate devices that do separate things. We got another phone caller with regard to internet connectivity. His name is not Jack, Jason with a Y. Jason, you're on TechBeat. You have a question. So I'm using, gotta open up this microphone.
Hi, so I have a question with regarding to internet firewalls. I'm using pfSense. What do you think your take with pfSense, and if you don't like pfSense, what other systems do you like?
So to answer your question explicitly, I would not use pfSense. pfSense is not one of my basically, I wouldn't recommend pfSense. It's not a really good solution. I prefer Sophos. All you need is an old PC, a Dimension, Optiplex 300 models. They can work well. We had another internet connect. We're getting some interesting questions on internet connectivity. I feel like we just jumped right back into the 1990s again. That will come up in about a moment. We're going to take or actually, I'm not going to do that right now. But what I'm going to do here is, where am I going here? Where am I next on the rundown here? Okay, we're gonna just take a break right now and then come back after the news, and we'll be back at 3:34. The time on BCOP, it's approaching 3:28.
If BCOP 990 was his music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious and unbeatable high-level our listeners are among the most brightest and smart consumers in any ordinary brick-and-mortar market. Tap into the highest network of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231-272-9949. 231-272-9949.
Do you know a techie in your life that likes to have technical themed stuff in your office or workspace? Do you have a favorite catchphrase that your techie person may like? Visit techiegrass.clickford.net. This website has more than 20 items available at your convenience. Shipping can be done within 3 business days. Use the promo code 990BCOP at checkout to save 20% off for any orders over $25. Visit techiegrass.clickford.net.
If BCOP 990 was his music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious and unbeatable high-level information. Our listeners are among the most brightest and smart consumers in any ordinary brick-and-mortar market. Tap into the highest network of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231-272-9949. 231-272-9949.
All right, time on BCOP 990 is 3:30 and 5 seconds. You're listening to Copenhagen's most listened to news and information station. This is BCOP Copenhagen. This is the top 3 stories you need to know. This is John Cochino in the BCOP 990 newsroom. The concerns of the rise of the coronavirus in many Brick State as infection rates are up 13% from last week. Governor John Butterbrick says he will not be issuing any states of emergencies and is only monitoring the situation. As school reopens in Paddington's Purchase next Monday, the debate whether or not to mask children or not will be a hotly contested debate next week at area school districts next week. We'll cover that here on BCOP 990. Meanwhile, the Mini-Brick State General Court has passed a sales tax holiday for next weekend. Governor Butterbrick says it will go into effect on Independence Day, and Butterbrick says it will be a great way to celebrate his so-called policy of making Mini-Brick State great again. In sports preseason football, the Miniland Bear Wreckers will be playing Monday night. We'll be covering that on BCOP beginning at 7:30 in the evening. Green Center off today. They will be playing tomorrow at 105 in Brick York. It's time for traffic and weather together every 15 minutes here in the quarter hours. Here's Natalie Logano at the BCOP Traffic Center. this latest from the BCOP 990 Weather Center. Today will be hot, near 90 degrees in downtown with a heat index near 100. Upper 80s elsewhere tonight. Temperatures will tumble in the upper 60s in downtown. Um, with a chance of thunderstorms in the area could be severe in some locales. Repeating current temperature 87 going up to 90 degrees in downtown Copenhagen. This is the latest from the BCOP newsroom. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. John Cook Bricciano is our producer, and Jen Priscocchio, our service aide. TechBeat continues in a moment. If BCOP 990 was a music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious news and beautiful, high-level information to our listeners. Our listeners are one of the most brightest and smart consumers in any northern Brick England market. Tap into the highest net worth of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231-272-9949, 231-272-9949. I'm John Carricino in the BCOP newsroom. We are reporting breaking news right now that there has been a massive earthquake, 7.1 on the Richter scale. We're working to get additional information as soon as we get it here on News Radio 990 BCOP. There is at least 29 deaths in the region. This is not where the exact location where it was back in approximately 2010, but we're still working to get information to you. We'll have that in about 25 minutes time. I'm Dr. Tina in the BCOP 990 newsroom. Hey, I'm still working this here, still getting the gist of this new thing here. This makes me happy. I can't speak for anybody else here. My happiness is proprietary. It's top secret here, and what I do here, it's work. And I don't take this job for fun. This isn't just a go do this for a few hours and just goof around. It's work here. I'm not like one of those people that work at the Cox Media Group, if you know what I mean. But all right, welcome back to this news program here, and I hope you enjoy this time that I do here to talk about technology and news here. I have somebody on the line. Actually, they're not on the line. They hung up on me. That's too bad. We had some questions regarding news gathering technology. There was a freelancer that wanted to know all about the freelancing stuff, but unfortunately, that person is not on the line here. As you see here, if you're watching the stream, I'm kind of getting better here as I get this set up here. And I've spent, 8 months, it feels like, and 3,000 hours doing stuff here. We have a couple of questions coming up on the screen, but we'll do that in a moment here. I'm just going to show here, if I'm going to move my mic over here so you can hear me on both online and on air here. Just basically how all these things, this is your local stuff. I haven't shown you the computer part, but yeah, computer here connecting to these resources onto the internet router here. I'll draw one that looks like the internet, and then one goes out on the internet. Really, what you want to do actually instead, as you see here in the picture, I'm actually going to erase this and show you how your network really should be set up. And I'm going to draw it very logical here so you guys can see what I do here. I'm going to draw the modem. The internet's on your left now, coming left to right on your radio here. So going left to right on your radio on how the signal, how your network should be set. So I put my firewall, which mostly people really need more than a router if you're just routing a single network. So this is a computer here. And then you're going to put it on what you call a layer 3 switch, or layer 2, excuse me. I prefer people get managed switching, even if it's your home, just for security purposes. I've always felt if you're above the average by slightly in your neighborhood, that's better than having no um, network security. So you put the firewall, which is the cell phone. Here's a layer 2 switch. And then at that point, I would put, if you have more, if you have wired devices, which most likely you may have. And then I'm using an airport extreme as an example. And the airport extreme is acting as an access point. It's not routing. It's because actually your airport extreme can actually run faster if it's just an access point. Just wanted to put that out there. And then you have your devices there as well. Um, so with that being said, let's take a call if I can. Alright, we're not going to do calls. We'll do calls after the traffic update. After, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a traffic update after the weather, traffic weather. So let's go back to back here on the whiteboard here and show you. Particularly, we had a caller early on in the show talking about streaming and how we were able to confirm it was something to do with producing content. So what I recommend if you're just starting to stream on your phone here, so I'm going to just tell you how you should stream. First off, you should have look at getting a ring light. My ring light is right now. I don't need to have my headphones on here, but I'm going to show you examples. Go to Marshall's, American Eagle Outfitters, places like that to get a ring light. And here is the ring light that I got. This one I got at Marshall's for 20 bucks roughly. It's a USB, so you can plug this onto your computer or whatever as power. It doesn't provide data. You can put your phone here, okay, and you use one of these guys, so you can get good lighting. I recommend that the camera goes above you to kind of get a better depth of field. That's just my preference. When you're doing a live stream, if you're not using Instagram, have your phone in rectangle and make sure you have it clearly in rectangle, because the reason that being is it'll give you the high def aspect ratio, right? Because if you're doing it in portrait, you're gonna get the old fashioned, well, it's not even that, but it still looks square. You wanna be in a rectangle. You can edit stuff in post if you want to crop things up, but just do it the right way that is well known in the industry. It looks too amateurish if you do it, a portrait. So make sure your Wi-Fi, and like I said, if you don't have a wireless access point, get one, and get one that is dedicated for streaming. So if your boyfriend or somebody else is sharing the network at the same time, that might cause internet problems. One thing that I will say is your internet speed, for the most part, should be able to handle the traffic. Just um, you know, think about that as well. So I'm doing a sketch here, and here is one I'm doing here. I'm using an Apple here. Not a fanboy because airport devices are no longer supported by Apple, but so here's your secondary airport extreme, and, or any wireless access point. Ubiquity I've heard is a good, and then these things should be wired up. So make sure you have a gigabit Ethernet cable, and then you can put it on your router or your modem. Again, I will make sure that you have one device for routing and one device ideally for wireless if for that. And then it goes out on the internet. If that's how you want to do that, that's my recommendation. Um, just an update on my last week's show here. Um, just open up my mic. Just an update on last week's show, just to kind of show people a visual on um, how tripods work, and particularly with streaming. I'm gonna do a special. I'll do another edition of this. But you have different types of tripods. You have the what I call the photographer types. See how good my art is here. I don't want to flaunt here on the show here. But you got your standard photo one, and it works good for like webcams as well, or things that are not too heavy. Point and shoot. It's really designed to be a photographer. Works good in tight spots, but it's not going to do good for your video production here, since that is kind of my business I'm doing now. So that's kind of what this one. And then you have tripods that are designed for video production. Um, what's made out of these guys, and I'm going to just do a pretend cutout of this, I'll make a big one, is that you'll hear things like fluid drag. So what this means is that there's a spring looped up that has like a counterweight tension. So depending on the weight of your camera, and I'll make a box camera. Okay. So it connects up here, and then depending on how much pressure you have with the handle to move it, will keep it solid. But also when you're doing pan and tilts, you want it to be smooth. So unlike this guy, which just has nothing, doesn't really have that much, it's basically screws that stop the tension. This guy has more weight between the mechanisms of the spring and the tension that's inside. This squiggly is the spring that's inside the head, and it's all about the head. So this head basically is integrated with the tripod, or some might be screwed on if it's a fancier tripod. Typically it has a single leg approach here, and they basically collapse with one leg, and it's typically just, you know, embedded, fused on there. Some might, the more Banfrano brands will typically have the more the more the more fancier ones. And then your video tripod, the more ones you see me gathering, the Satchler brands, those are really pricey. They have two pipes going out, and they're called bull tripods. And this one basically has an open, looks like a ball, and then the head is basically screwed on with a thing on the bottom, on the bottom with the head, and it could be any head. It can even be heavy duty, but typically your base and stuff like that. I'm gonna be talking about that next week, because I think we've done a lot on tech, computers and networking. Next week I think we'll do video, because I like to keep it on both multiple things. Let's do the traffic and weather together as we approach that time, and we'll go to Natalie Lugano at the BCO Traffic Center to get that latest. What's the latest on the slowdown, Natalie? And good afternoon. We do have that problem on 291 just outside the city. There is a helper vehicle. That vehicle should be cleared in a moment right now, working clockwise around the region. We do have a severe head-on collision. We had that confirmed by the Minneberg State Police. That area of part of 93 northbound is closed for traffic right now. So just avoid the area. Use the downtown. Take you to downtown Centennial Drive as your alternative. No other problems to report at this time. Just congested traffic. Your average speed is about 55 miles an hour. Next traffic update and at the bottom of the hour on News Radio 990 BCOP. This is John Cucino in the BCOP newsroom. Today's temperature will be a hot one, scorcher today, 90 degrees. That will feel like 100 with an 80% humidity. Tonight temperatures will get cooler. Tomorrow will be a little bit less hotter and humid than today. Repeating current temperature 87 going up to 90 degrees in downtown Copenhagen. TechBeat continues next here on BCOP 990.
If BCOP 990 was a music station, it would be an eclectic blend of serious news and beautiful, high-level information to our listeners. Our listeners are one of the most brightest and smart consumers in any northern Brick England market. Tap into the highest net worth of information by contacting BCOP Sales at 231-272-9949, 231-272-9949.
They're banning municipalities to not have mask mandates, but they are putting that in the Houston independent school system. We'll have more on this on the top of the hour here on BCOP News Radio 990. We'll have more in a few moments. BCOP News Time 3:51. TechBeat comes back in a moment. Ba, 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 ba. I promised to get music here for our bumper, so it's not totally a boring show here. just finish up on the show here. I got 3:52 and a half right now, so I got about 8 minutes left. I'm going right to the top of the hour, so commercial free to the end of the show here. Brought to you by from Techie Crafts, my craft business, which I'm working on along my time here. So I mentioned on the previous blog here that when we're getting into the fancier video tripods. So video tripods, one of the things that you want to know if you're doing video production, if you're going to be the next content creator like Courtney Ryan, um, is the fancier tripods tend to look really fancy. So typically what they have is they're designed to deploy quickly and deploy um, dedeploy, I guess would be the word to say. So that they come in two levels, as you see in the sketch out here. And so they're basically just poles, collapsible poles along a pole like pipes. You could make your own perhaps, but with everything being so expensive, I wouldn't recommend just buy these. They're relatively inexpensive. And again, the tripod base and the legs would actually they have weight limits too. So you got to make sure that your tripod head matches the weight. And if this thing collapses all the way up, they could go up to like my height. They can topple over if it's windy. So you don't want to be too top heavy, and you don't want it too heavy on the bottom because it could knock over. Like the other tripod, the video tripod I showed to you earlier, where you know it's more sturdier than your point and shoot, but they in this situation you may run into a bottom heavy, and I'm not doing a good sketch up on this. So like I said, we'll do this on the next week's show here. So these guys have a ball, and then like I say, there's a screw device here, there, and then you have more doodads, like you could have dual sticks, dual control, particularly in when you're when you're taping sporting events or live events. You might want to have those handles for your focus and zoom. These are the kinds of tripods you get into. And then you have a plate for your camera, but you'll a lot of times see it particular. Let me just do like an S here to kind of pretend that this is a satellite. Okay, there you go. Isn't that bad? It's good to be an artist, right? So typically when you see the quick release on those field cameras, what they call ENG cameras, typically these guys, they don't take off that piece because there's a quick release typically on these plates that are holding those very wide cameras. I mean, they're not as big as they used to be. So typically they leave that alone. You could put a small camera if you want to on the satellite. There's no way you can't, but particularly if you're doing like a Panasonic P2 or Sony you know cameras. See if I can do this. It's not drawn to scale, technical scale here, but typically a lot of these camcorders are getting much lighter, so you could take one of these like midline once you get for like a couple $100 if you're doing the whole like freelance videography, news photography and stuff like that. But you typically are gonna get something like this here. So I'll just do this again here. Do that. That's perfectly standard, and then video here. then you're typically going to use, you're typically, for most of our audiences, you're going to have a DSLR camera. I recommend the video camera one, the one with the fluid head, the one with just a single leg. Um, you can get those for, that's what I would recommend for any of the cameras. If you're doing the broadcast stuff, you would need a more fancier rig. But that one, the one that you use for photography, which is the skinny one, yeah, that's just too short. It's way too short and too skinny, too unreliable, not enough control. So if you really want to do good shots, I recommend that. Even for still photography, I would recommend that. All right, so we're approaching the end of week number 2 of TechBeat. I hope you like the stuff. I know the news wheel is kind of being preempted here for some of our content, but the cost of running news here is not, it doesn't come free. And again, advertising and all the economics aside, I know we get a lot of calls. We had to field out calls for that. We are approaching the end of the show here. Other than that, I do thank the people that are helping me put out this show today, and all the people here. We hope to get better at this. Going to IKEA tomorrow for the first time in my entire life, so maybe we'll get some furniture for the people who are watching the streams here. This necklace, if anyone's interested, this came from my other half, who's no longer with us, who was a really proponent of quirky technologies like the SCSI. We talked about that earlier in the show. So to the moon and back, Melanie, I miss you even more. And that is it for today's show. The time is approaching 4 o'clock. This is BCOP Copenhagen, BCOP HD1, BCOP FM HD1 Copenhagen, and online. This is Stephen Clickford. Have a great afternoon and weekend. In the spirit of Copenhagen, news, traffic, and weather. This is BCOP, BCOR FM, and BCOE AM HD1 Copenhagen. I guess I didn't have to do the station ID. They didn't tell me not to.